Well, hey everyone, and welcome to episode 16 of CX and Coffee. My name's Justin Robbins, and this is a show where
Marty Shaughnessy
and I get together, we dish on some things from the past week or weekend. In this case, we've had a little bit of a break, so we've got some catching up to do.
Yes.
After we get done with that, we jump into a brand new coffee or other assorted beverage. We let you know what we like, and sometimes, Marty, sometimes we just don't like things about it. That's okay. That's okay. We're here for all of it, so we share a bit about that and where you can find it. And lastly, we dig into a topic that will be meaningful for you if you live, work, or care about customer experience. But as always, Marty, it is so good, and after a little bit of time, refreshing
Yes.
to see your face.
Yep. Good to see you, buddy.
There's so much that I feel like we can catch up on. You had your vacation. You brought back an unwanted souvenir.
Yes.
You celebrated a big family holiday. Where do we get started?
Yeah. Well, the souvenir is so I am on day 25 of this cold that you may or may not be able to hear. We're in the final stretch of getting it out of here, but I still have the dry cough, so I'll be throttling the mute button on the microphone here. Vacation was great. We had some issues on the way back, but I don't even want to go there. Let's just a preview would be that we stayed overnight in the airport, which was very disappointing. But a good
Everybody
experience.
loves bonus nights sleeping on an airport floor.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good experience for the younger ones in our crew.
Well, I'm glad you had a good vacation. I know you and we did, folks, by the way, try to film an episode earlier than when this one's coming out. And let's just say neither of us were there yet.
Yeah.
You know, your cough was...
Yeah.
You're actually doing great, by the way. You're doing great, Marty.
As long as I don't think about it. So what do we got in the mug today?
You don't want to know about my week, Marty? You just want to get straight to the coffee?
Fine.
I wanted to talk
Fine,
about
Justin. What did you do?
No, you know what? Marty, it doesn't matter anymore.
It's always about you.
It doesn't matter. This is
the Justin show.
You're just like, I'm gonna talk all about myself. Fine.
Oh boy.
Everclear, Marty. Everclear is in the mug. It's the only way I can get through episodes anymore.
Hey, Justin, what'd you do this week?
Marty, I'm so glad you asked. We're gonna talk about it later.
Okay.
I was going through the coffee drawer, and we've got a few bags that I've acquired that we've got to, I think, work our way through because I'm going to be picking up a bunch more here in the next few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I found one that was perfect for today's episode.
Okay.
Back in the late fall, I took a trip to Nashville, and I'm actually getting ready to leave there again this week. I'll be in Nashville again. And during my trip to Nashville, I picked up this bag from Bongo Java, and this is their Music City blend.
Okay.
It is beans of blended origins. One might call it a veritable cornucopia of coffee beans.
One might.
They don't, but I...
They don't, right.
Possibly. I actually checked.
People of
Maybe
that persuasion might. Right.
No, it's not here. Yeah, it's not here. It's coffee from Sumatra, Honduras, Guatemala, and Congo. On their roast level of 1 to 5 dots here, it's a 2.
Okay.
So we'll go with a medium light roast. I believe is the appropriate descriptor.
That sounds fair.
That's good. You know what does sound good to these tasting notes? Honey, orange, milk chocolate, and spices. And if we were curious, that's immediately followed by the IT blend for the IT city.
Wow.
Or it could be the IT blend for the IT city.
There you go. Yeah.
They aren't clear on that, so...
Yeah. Can you show
Let
me
me
the
know,
side,
Bongo Java.
the side of the bag? That's a really cool design bag. I'm just looking at the pattern.
You would appreciate that. So you've got, looks like paper airplanes and a fist coming out of a cloud.
Okay.
With Nash tattooed across the knuckles. That's
Okay. It's got some attitude there.
You got some attitude. There's some dice and a fire hydrant, and this is a very eclectic grouping of art. A little bit more about Bongo Java. Founded in 1993, became world famous in 1996 with the discovery of the nun bun.
I don't know what the nun bun is.
I don't either. We'll update you all in the show notes.
Okay.
On our research on the nun bun, and we will all learn something together.
How are they spelling nun? Is it N-U-N or?
Yeah.
Oh, then okay.
Bun, B-U-N, all one word. Nun bun.
Nun bun.
Could be the noon bun. Noon bun.
Nun bun.
Let's smell the bag. What do you say?
Get in there. Get in there.
That's just a. I always get happy when I open the beans, and it's just like, it doesn't matter what notes I taste. It's definitely a sweetness about it.
Getting any of that honey?
I do get the honey.
Okay.
That's really, really nice. It's the honey, but a bit of
Yeah, what are the spices that they're talking about? Like cinnamon, cloves.
So I'm totally blanking on the name of the pastry that you can put on top of a coffee.
Oh, stroopwafel?
A stroopwafel.
It's a Dutch treat.
I love stroopwafels. Do you remember, were you at the conference the one time? It was an ICMI conference. There was a Dutch technology company that had a stroopwafel stand on the expo hall floor, and they were making fresh stroopwafels. I don't know who's watching this right now and needs to hear this, but if you're responsible for how your technology company or whatever company you work for shows up at conferences, if you put the stroopwafel stand in there, I will be there. I don't care what it takes. I will be there for the stroopwafels.
Yeah, they're delicious.
Yeah, so this is a very it's like the warm waffle. That's I think what the bit I'm getting here is like warm waffle and honey.
Okay.
Just kind of a nice holy smokes.
Like a caramel? Is there like a burnt brown
There's not
sugar?
the caramel.
Okay.
I said that for the stroopwafel, and really more what I meant was like it's like the warm waffle. I don't know why I'm getting warm as a scent in here,
Yeah,
but
that makes sense.
that's my recall right now. Is
Yeah,
I've got
yeah.
a warm waffle with some honey drizzled on it.
Okay.
And you know what I also love about this right now? So Music City Blend tells me this is just like this is their everyday roast. I didn't see this earlier. Says, does this bag make my bottom look big? That's funny.
Clever points.
Cheers to you, Marty. This is Bongo Java Music City Blend, always organic and fair trade.
All right, let's see. Let's get some tasting notes here.
Just makes you happy on the inside.
All right.
I can, wow. So, I don't.
Now, what do you if you have your preference, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you can drink a light, say breakfast blend to a dark hearty roast,
Yeah.
where do you fall like naturally? Like if you could only have one cup of coffee for the rest of your life, what kind of would you?
I lean more towards blonde and the lighter roasts.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I do. And what I was gonna say about this is, I want to have this cup of coffee with breakfast every morning.
Mm-hmm.
This is even tempered. I don't get any of the orange, but the honey and the chocolate does start to come through, but in a very subtle way. It's
Okay.
also got kind of just a nice nutty earthiness to it. This is exceptionally well balanced. I would love nothing more than some toast, bacon, overpriced eggs,
Yep.
right? That alongside this cup of coffee would make every morning just an absolute joy.
Perfect. Sounds perfect.
10 out of 10 stars. You may only have 2 dots on the roast level, but you have 5 dots in my heart.
Nice. Great transition. Great way to segue to the ratings.
Yeah. Okay. So, absolutely awesome. I've got to imagine if you are in Nashville and you can swing by Bongo Java, they probably just have this brewing in the local shop. I'm gonna find out this week when I'm there. I'm definitely gonna stop by and I'll give you an update because I love it at home. I'm sure it's probably even better when they make it. I just tell myself that.
Oh, you should definitely grab like a specialty coffee if they have one.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
If you remember, so the bag we've had from Bongo Java before was the one aged in whiskey barrels.
Oh, that was them. Okay.
And it was good, but it got old fast. It was almost like sickeningly overdone. Spot on this roast. Y'all can pick up a bag at bongojava.com. Absolutely phenomenal. Really excited to have that. Also have an update for you on my bag that I'm still dreaming about from Square One. I want to thank everybody who kind of weighed in and gave some feedback on that episode. Rob Dwyer is our lucky winner, and Rob is going to be getting a bag of that coffee. So, Rob, you better believe I want to hear what you think of it. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. If you don't like it, please return to sender. I will happily finish the bag on your behalf.
Nice.
I love it when it goes right, Marty. You know, sometimes I get really sad. I want to love all coffees, but it just doesn't always happen. But yeah.
Well, I think the nice thing is you would think that maybe you would be pushed towards like giving everybody the old like participation trophy, right? Hey, great job, guys, great job. But you have been pretty honest with your feedback, and you know, you don't necessarily trash a coffee that you don't like, but you explain why it's not your favorite or why you don't like it. So I think you know, over what episode 16, we've done at least 16. You know, we've had some ups and downs, and I feel like you've been pretty balanced and fair with your, you know, referencing that it is your particular palate.
Yeah. So, I just want to believe that I'm just exceptional at not picking out trash coffee.
Right.
I am not to say that this is trash coffee, but I do hope you still have that tin can. That
I do. Yeah, right. I have it. Well, you will get it in 2 weeks when you come up here. Yeah. I've got 2 more for you, so you can take back home. But
yeah. Awesome. No, this has been really good. So interestingly enough, I'll give you all a sneak preview of something else. So my youngest brother is a store manager with Starbucks, and we were talking about CX and coffee over the weekend, and he's like, I know what I'm going to do. He's like, I'm going to send you 3 different Starbucks coffees, and I'm not going to tell you which one is which. I'll tell you which 3 they are, and you've got to guess which one each is, and you've got to rank them. I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to a future episode.
Yeah, we've had a couple contests on here.
We have. We're going to keep it going, Marty. We're going to keep it coming, and you know, we've got, I think, just some even more fun things that are in store that when you and I get together, we're going to work out for the people to make what will be a season 2 of CX and Coffee even bigger and better than before.
Even bolder. Yeah,
even bolder.
And maybe, you know, I could do one where like guess which one is the Irish coffee. Like I'll just randomly go and
I can't stop drinking this one. I don't know why, but
yeah. I'm just going to hold on to this. I'm just going to hold on to this one.
Very good. Yeah, so Bongo Java, Music City Blend, Nashville, Tennessee, bongojava.com. We love you here at CX and Coffee, and we can't wait to try more of your roasts.
Well
So
done,
thank
Bongo.
you. And you know what? I agree. They've got some fun stats on the back. The last one says 100% darn tasty. That will be my official review for this week. This is 100% a darn tasty blend of coffee.
Well done. All right.
All right,
Here we go.
here we go. Where are we going?
Diving in. Well, you were doing some traveling, weren't you?
I was.
Okay.
Yeah, 'tis the season.
Did you
There's
learn
gonna be a
anything
lot
on
of
your
that.
travels, Justin? Did you learn anything new on your travels?
I
Did you meet
Yes.
anybody interesting on your travels?
Yes, Marty. So this past week was Enterprise Connect in Orlando, Florida.
Okay.
If you're watching this and you're not familiar with Enterprise Connect, Origins are really in a kind of a business communications show that has evolved, and I would say is evolving in terms of what they're about and who they're for. Customer experience, and I'm going to say really contact center and other customer interaction technologies were taking a bigger and bigger role over the past few years, and that was certainly the case this year as you had most of the big contact center platforms, people that are doing chat and video and all that kind of stuff that you would expect. So this is a big show for them. For me, I had a session there, also was getting to kind of live squarely in my analyst life where, it was a lot of briefings on new products that are coming out, get to see a fair bit of the roadmap of what companies are working on, and just have some open, honest, and maybe a little bit tough conversations on what are businesses actually struggling with, how are technology companies especially walking a balance between keeping their marketers and their salespeople happy or investors by talking
Yeah.
about the latest buzz and actually delivering value. So that was a lot of the conversation. I kicked the event off Monday morning with a panel, and it was on the back of some research that I had done in the fall.
Okay.
Over the fall, spoke to over 350 business leaders from different enterprises. And my questions to them, Marty, were like in a lot of cases like very high level. Okay, your title's customer experience. What are you responsible for?
Yeah.
Your organization, when they say they want to deliver a great customer experience, what does that mean? How are they quantifying that? Stuff like that.
Yep.
The scary part is that when you start to align what are organizations trying to accomplish and what are these people who have CX titles actually doing, 88% are really being set up to fail. And they're being set up to fail in that they don't have the scope of authority or influence that they need, or the outcomes they're being asked to drive, they really can't affect or don't make sense.
Yeah.
So a lot of these, I'd say, self-inflicted barriers to delivering great customer outcomes. Purpose of my session was to share a little bit about my take on that, what can organizations do differently, but also got to invite some of the leaders from some of the big contact center platforms who over the past few years have been trying to make a broader narrative, to not say it's not just about the contact center, but it's about all of these other customer interaction points that
Yep.
exist that are traditionally contact center or not. And I have to applaud them. They are trying to mature the narrative. They are trying to position themselves in a way that's helpful. Do all of them understand it yet? No, they don't. And there's plenty of confusion. But I think the intention is there, and there's certainly effort being made. Session was great. 8 a.m. on a Monday morning after there were a bunch of flight issues with that weather system that moved through the East Coast, and we were standing room only. So I was over the moon in terms of the turnout, the engagement, and what my my panelists shared. And I'm going to write a piece that just is some more lessons and takeaways from that'll come
Okay.
out. Probably, honestly, either right before or right after we publish this episode. It'll be available if you just go to the Metric Sherpa website. So that was great. The thing that was most unsettling about the past week is the buzzword du jour of agentic. Agentic. And I published another post about this last week. So I was flying back from the trip, and I was going through my notebook and my phone is like, oh, these were great meetings. This was a good follow-up. I'm excited about this. And then I was like, gosh, what was the most frustrating? Like, what's the thing that's like disturbing me in the pit of my stomach right now? And a lot of companies they were throwing this term agentic around.
Okay.
And so I asked them, well, when you say agentic, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And if 15 different companies had thrown the word out, I got 15 different definitions.
Mm.
Some of them, like if you look up what is like agentic, how is it defined right now in the dictionary, which it still falls under slang. It's not even recognized as, kind of an official thing. It's not been used long enough.
Yeah.
So of course there's going to be variation. But my general takeaway, it doesn't even matter like how do you define agentic. My general takeaway from that is organizations were creating more confusion than they were providing clarity.
Mm.
And the last thing anybody I've met, whether they're a business leader or a technology provider, it doesn't matter what you do, last thing anybody needs in their life is more confusion.
Right.
What is holding people back from investing? Lack of clarity. What is holding people back from driving the outcomes they want to achieve? Lack of clarity. And my challenge coming out of Enterprise Connect to really solution providers, that's who I'm targeting with this, is right now the race to own the narrative is getting in the way of their ability to be relevant and trusted and preferred by people who are looking for what they can do. And that I think is the difficult part about this is most of the technology companies that I look at, in a lot of ways, they all are very, very capable. And in some cases, maybe they're really capable for a particular industry or a use case or, a type of capability. But if you have a clear understanding of the problem you're facing and the outcome you're trying to drive, you do enough scratching and it becomes very clear. Oh, this one or two, or these 2 or 3 companies are perfect for me. But it's not easy because these companies are just like throwing around these terms for the sake of trying to be relevant. So that was the big thing for the week for me, Marty, is like, there's so like just exciting, cool opportunity ahead for organizations. We've got to stop the trend jacking stuff because it is getting in the way of us having a material and meaningful impact on the outcomes that our business is willing to invest in. Right? That's the last thing for me is companies are willing to invest in meaningful outcomes. We're not clear about driving meaningful outcomes. We're too busy throwing around things that we think will make us sound relevant.
Right.
And again, my opinion is they actually just make us look even more out of touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aren't you glad you asked about my week last week?
Yeah, no, I'm thrilled. Thrilled, actually. No, I mean, it is funny because I do feel like a lot of times it is, with a lot of different issues, like going back to the basics is what helps fix things, right? But as you said, trying to stand out and using fluid terminology if it's not clearly identified can just muddy the water. So
it does.
I hear you.
It muddies the waters and like that I think is the last thing any organization should be trying to do right now is make it more ambiguous in terms of how you're differentiated and how you can help people. And the advice is, I think, actually really, really easy here, Marty. If you're, how do we do that? How do we be relevant and clear to our buyers? Okay, number 1, define the problem that you help solve. Don't use marketing speak. Talk about the problem in the way that your buyer or potential buyer talks about the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Most organizations, Marty, that's where they fail. They don't understand how people actually talk about these problems, what they actually look at. And so they talk in a way that, frankly, you need the Rosetta Stone or something to decipher what they're actually talking about here. So start with a clear definition of the problem. Second is for organizations to be able to explain how their solution for that is distinctive.
Yeah.
What is it about it that... And use use proof points, right? I think that to me closely ties into the third bit is show the outcomes, show the results, show the impact. That will do way more talking and selling than any amount of slick copy and slideware. Show the difference that you make for real people in real ways. That was my big takeaway.
It's a good one.
I know. I think so.
I think I'm done here.
I'm not done here. I'm done with Enterprise Connect for this year. Looking forward to next year. You know, on that front, it's interesting. So I mentioned I'm going to Nashville. I've got a super cool client there. And there's a lot of projects that I do that I'd say are like content or presentation related, right? Their researches, their ebooks, their interactive things. But one of the things that I love with businesses, helping them figure out their ownable white space. And what I mean really by that is like if you have a true understanding of the problem and you have a true understanding of like the value that you bring, there is undoubtedly a place where you can speak and show up in a way that creates value, that is accessible, that is clear and compelling. This company, they are a solution provider, and I'm just going to say that they're going through a little bit of a transition on their identity. And they've recognized that who they were won't get them to where they want to be. Yeah. So actually spending 2 days with their executive team, and we are doing a SWOT analysis on their business today. We're doing a bit of some competitive intel to understand about where they might step into, and where are some others playing, and where's their traction, and where's their not. But I think more than anything, and this is why I think this client's super cool, is they've got a really good sense of their core values. And the thing that the CEO has made really clear is like they want to, no matter what, make sure that those values shine through to their employees, to the customers and the clients that they're serving, and that the work that they do is actually just a matter of them being able to authentically live out their values.
Yep.
And so it's this really cool intersection between, our businesses. Doesn't matter what you do when you're watching this, like you're wired and, believe and contribute something really cool in a meaningful way. When that can show up in its truest form and it solves a real problem in a way that provides real benefit, like I love it. I'm super excited for that. So it'll be a fun couple of days, and then I'm off to the UK. Literally get back from that trip. I'm dumping my suitcase out with just enough time to then head back to the airport. So busy couple of weeks here.
That's exciting. Well, yeah. I hope you have uneventful travel, my friend.
Marty, I'm here for a little adventure always.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, there's no good stories to tell.
Sometimes it's good to have stories. Sometimes it's better to sleep in your own bed. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's fair enough too. No, so it's spring's a fun and busy time. I love the things that you and I have been dreaming big about lately, and how that will show up as we, take, let's call it the first 20 episodes of CX and Coffee, and bring something that, as we've learned from everybody who's engaged with it and shared and talked about us. Our focus is really understanding what is meaningful and valuable for you. As much as Marty and I do love our time together, we don't have to record that. So if we do, we want to make sure that's providing benefit. So I'm excited about how we're evolving that. Just some really cool things that we're going to get to share with folks in the coming weeks. And we've got some more coffee lined up, Marty. So what have I learned? I've learned that if I travel with a bunch of family members, don't share drinks.
True.
I've learned that.
Yes.
Otherwise, you get long-lasting souvenirs.
Yep. 4 weeks.
Second thing is I have been sleeping on Bongo Java's Music City blend, and I will not make that mistake
Never again. Never again.
So good. I love it. Third, there's so much noise out there. Do not be your own worst enemy by making it confusing and ambiguous to the people that you're trying to serve, on the problem you solve, the value that you provide, and the outcomes that you've driven for others. Start with those three things, and I think you will see incredible transformation, whether you are a technology company, whether you are running a contact center operations team. Doesn't matter what you do. Be really, really clear about the problems, really, really clear on the purpose and value, and really, really clear on the outcomes, and you will see success come your way. Marty, I think that's all we've got this week on CX and Coffee. Until next time, it has been so good seeing you, my friend. We'll catch up next week for a whole new brew.